All right, here are 8 quick takes on Senator Joe Manchin's decision not to run for re-election. First, why isn't he running for re-election? Well, Manchin's nature is to try to get everybody together around the table. He always talks about that and to work out some sort of deal. And he was increasingly fed up with the polarized politics in Washington, D.C. He believes the country's being pulled apart by the bitter bipartisanship. And he said, when America is at her best, we get things done by putting the country first before party, working across the aisle, and finding common ground. Clearly, Manchin thought that that was not what was happening in Washington anymore. Second, where is the credit? Now, Manchin was instrumental in getting past the Inflation Reduction Act, which was poorly named, but it included billions of dollars for green energy-related projects. And a lot of those are going to benefit West Virginia, but it was increasingly difficult for Manchin to get any credit for that because this was viewed as Joe Biden's bill, and Joe Biden's not popular in West Virginia. So Manchin, by connection there, wasn't getting credit for that because it was seen as, oh, you just sided with Joe Biden. So I think that was frustrating him. Number 3, why make the announcement now? Well, Manchin had been saying for a long time he would announce sometime probably early next year, but I think he was getting pressure to make some announcement as to what his plans are. And he kept flipping back and forth in his own mind as to what to do. I know he struggled with that decision. Do I run for re-election? Do I try this presidential run? Do I retire? So after talking with family, obviously he got to a point where he was comfortable with his decision and decided to go ahead and push it out. Number 4, what's next? Well, Manchin made it pretty clear in his statement that he's going to explore a third-party independent run for president. He didn't say that specifically, but what he did say is this: what I will be doing is traveling the country and speaking out to see if there's an interest in creating a movement to mobilize the middle and bring America together. Well, that sounds a lot like you're trying to see if there's any interest in a third-party run. And Manchin is among the favorites, along with Larry Hogan, the former Republican governor of Maryland, among the favorites of the No Labels organization that is looking into the possibility of a unity ticket for president and vice president in 2024. So will he run for president? Number 5. And that depends. As he said, he's going to travel the country, see if there's any interest in a third-party independent run, a third way. And the polls we've all seen indicate a lot of dissatisfaction with Biden and Trump. So is there a window there for a third-party or independent run? And Manchin must think there's a possibility because he said, I know our country isn't as divided as Washington wants us to believe. Number 6, can he win? History suggests no. That's very, very difficult, if not impossible. Ross Perot, back in 1992, got 19% of the popular vote and no electoral votes because he didn't win any states. Now, back in 1968, George Wallace won 5 states, 5 southern states, and he did get 46 electoral votes, but it came in a distant third. So it's very hard because every state, except for 2, has a winner-take-all on the Electoral College votes. Number 7, what if he runs for president and loses? Well, there was that hot rumor for a while that he wanted to be the next president at WVU after Gordon Gee retires here in the not-too-distant future. He did come on my show, that is, Manchin came on my show and said that was definitely not in his future. That was not anything he was considering. And it's hard to imagine Manchin just sort of fading off into the distance and into the sunset and sitting on the porch on a rocking chair. He has a ton of energy. I think he still has a lot to offer. So it's just I would think he would find something. I think he'd be bored very quickly if he wasn't doing something. And then number 8, the first seat flip of 2024 in the Senate. There are only about 3 or 4 really closely contested Senate races in 2024, and this was one of them. And so this is going to be a flip. This is going to go from Democrat to Republican in all likelihood because Manchin was the last Democrat standing in West Virginia that had a chance to hang on to that seat. So on the Republican side, you got Jim Justice, you got Alex Mooney. Right now, Justice is the heavy favorite there. He's up by 30 or 40 points over Alex Mooney. So you would expect, at least the way things look now, is that Justice would likely be the nominee. And it's hard to imagine any Democrat other than Manchin being able to retain that seat in 2024.